Mani, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you all?
Fine, sir.
This is a new concept of hierarchy to understand ourselves in terms of brain mechanism and also the mindful thoughts. What is the difference between brain and mind? Brain is a physical structure, it has no objective. But the mind is a soul structure that has a significant connection between the networking mode. So, what is your feeling? What is your emotions? What is your thought? What is your reciprocality to the action and the reaction that comes through the neuron? That is called as a nervous system, that is also called as the thalamus cerebellum contribution. So without these kind of nervous system, your brain never ever comes through. Archaea evolved 4.54 billion years ago. That we understood from the arc mechanism. But the Homo sapiens, that means the humans, are evolved in a 6 to 7 million years ago. So how vast it is. The global is a diversified in nature, each creation has its own meaning. So why Homo sapiens are only having a brain, and that to be the mindful brain. So this is a concept of diversify to understand ourselves not only in terms of the psychiatric level or the physiological level or the psychological level. This is one type of understand ourselves with our own inner engineering to action for the reciprocal reaction. So you consider this. This is our brain. Assume this is our brain. Okay? So this is the brain mechanism. I hope this brain is not adequately, but despite the whole structure is a brain mechanism. Why you have to understand this? There is several distinguished neurons. Yes, absolutely comes through it. There are absolutely 1.54 million capacity. The last together neurons are there, and supportive neurons are 80 million. So at that time it will be reciprocal each other. If you concentrate the whole body structure from thalamus, that is in head to feet, it will travel like a signal anytime. So that is why if any consideration happens for the future logistic way, any pain occur in a foot, we will get to know and notice with the signal. So how important it will be. So if it is contributed, these many things of contribution. So it is your bound duty to understand the neurons, especially for your life, right? You may be writing a UPSC exam, or else you may be going for the future work. It is your bound duty to understand the nervous system, how it reciprocal to each other. So let us understand in briefly. Yes, I absolutely emphasize in my older classes. One is emotional intelligence, another one is intellectual quotient, another one is active applications. So there are three segments here. Emotional intelligence gives an emotion for the actions, and intellectual property that gives an intelligence answer for the reciprocal for that action, and the actionate, the application phenomena that is the result of intellectual property and emotional intelligence coupling to each other. So what is more important here? If you have any phase, you want to have a good meal today. Probably it may be a very delicious today, but despite tomorrow it won't be. Why? That is an emotion. Any work starts with an emotion that gives a life of work, the leap of hole, the leap of luck. So there are three distinguished factors here. Without any active consideration, there is no action at all. So there are a lot of difference between action and for that reaction. Which comes first? Bruce Lee, he is a martial artist and he suggested the empirical phenomena. You have to learn in such a way that one lakh propaganda to energize yourself in a practice mode. That will be a robust manner that won't be unmanaged by the opponent. This is the quote, right? What do you mean by that? Anything you learn in a massive scale, that doesn't mean that you know or you don't know. That comes in a picturized way, in a speculated way. Suppose I have to hold this pen and I have to handle it in gentle way. So if I wanted to handle in a gentle way, or in a fraction of mode, or in a time scarcity, or energy-less behavior, with energy behavior, that will be subjective in nature to human. That consideration is active participation. So you are reading today, probably you are reading so many chapters with the emotions and with the intelligence and with the active mechanism. That is a three segment here. But despite that mechanism is a boon to be when the consider the subject it should be evolved in a structured way. So while we reading any chapter, this is one page, okay? If you consider anything which you want to read from this to this, what is the primary goal? If you want to like that chapter, you have to give an emotion first. Without emotion, your intellectual quotient never ever exists. And without intellectual and emotions, the active quotient never ever exists. This is the clear-cut phenomena in the psychological behavior level of Homo sapiens. That's why we are different than animals, and we are different than birds, and we are different than plants. So there is a 3P system. One is prioritize. Which one prioritize means which one you want to be. For what reason you have to understand. That's why many eminent personalities are suggested you have to prioritize your life so that you can have a good clarity and objective in order to pursue the goal. So if you want to read a 2 pages of notes today, you have to give an emotion. Okay, I have to understand these many things. Suppose the chapter name is social entrepreneurship and sustainability. This is one concept which is booming today in a management level, in a corporate affairs also. That means the social entrepreneurship means the contribution of ourselves with the group mechanism, either in terms of NGO or in terms of SSG or the charity or the public charity or the private charity or the government level. So if you want to read this chapter, you have to give emotion to understand each and every segment. First you have to seek and you have to feel upon it, then automatically you can recognize the loopholes. That is a problem. Okay, you read today this to this. You got to know the feelings of that particular subject. Then you can recognize what is my gap. The gap understanding is intellectual quotient. After this is the second segment. In that there is a two particular phenomena. One is how to pursue with the gap and how to overcoming with the gap. Because many factors are not knowing you earlier. That's why you are reading, right? If you know something A to Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. If you know that, why you are reading? On that particular day you got an emotion because you are very, children's life is very emotional life. So you got an emotion and you understood properly. But despite, these chapters are not negotiable. So this is second factor to understand the intellectual quotient. If you apply the emotion, the intellectual quotient will be second step that gives you the gap analysis, what is next. So people are asking me always, sir, how to pursue, how to read, how to revise. So how to pursue, how to read, how to revise is the key pillar in how to deal the things in an emotional way. You have to pursue in an emotional way, then you are going to read it. And after that, how to read or pursue. That pursue sense is in gap analysis which gives from intellectual quotient. After the intellectual quotient, you identified your problems. So you only get to know the information how to tackle it. Because if I want to read 300 pages today, I will segregate, okay, these many words are there and these many words are I can understood through emotions. What is not I understood and what I don't know, that I have to replica with the marker. So that is an intellectual gap analysis. After this, you have to say, or you won't do anything, the brain will be acting in a several manner, that is the active quotient. Active quotient is the action for the reaction. You have already read the 300 pages and you've done it with the emotion, and you find out the gap analysis, and you find out the gap analysis solution also, then the action will be taken up by the mind, that is neurons, thalamus and cerebellum. So this is a brain activity, we are not knowing it properly. What is the early child, ancient phenomena? We have a Nalanda University, the great university of India, that exists Kumaragupta won 7,500 years ago, and it is still now, that is in Bihar, the Pataliputra in earlier days. So eminent personalities are came up picturized, Aryabhata, Bindukara, Charaka. These are not the saints, these are not only the saints, these are the scientific research scientists, right? How they overcome. They had a several distinguished brain systems. What you have, that the same brain, the same mind, same neurons are applicable to those people also. But what is the gap analysis between you and the ancient phenomena? That is, they look upon first with the emotions. After that, the intellectual quotient. After that, you are not going to do anything. The active quotient will be mesmerizing to deal the things in a speculative way. Some actions are taken up for a long year. Some actions are taken up for a fraction of a second. What is the difference between them? You are doing some activity in a fraction of a second means probably you have to deal the things in an effortless way. So what is effort and what is effortless here? Effort is the mechanism to deal in a speculated time bound, which is repeated in a way. But effortless, without noticing you are governing your brain in the way it wants to be. That is a reflex mode. So would you like to play a badminton? After the badminton, you got a several cock will be hampered in a ground. But in a reflex mode, you can recognize, okay, this is my bat, and you have to stun it off and you overcome the opponent. So this is the reflex mode. You are not prepared, but act to be. Your brain is activated. You are just playing. The reason behind today to understand the brain and mind is not only the overcoming phenomena to life. You have to be easy way. First of all, any problems are coming, any problems are come up. You have to first look upon, yes, this is the problem, it's not my problem. This is the problem, I have to engage with the emotions. This is the problem, I have to identify the gap analysis through the intellectual quotient. Yes, after that, you leave it. The active quotient will be taken up the next level. We go to your notice also, that is called as reflex mode. Someone are not knowing to play a cricket, but despite he can recognize the ball and he catch in a reflex mode. How it is possible? Still today, all the 23, 24 years he not at all did in the cricket playing, but despite he got an opportunity to reflex mode. That means his brain quotient is very evolved. Not like that. He done through the emotions, he done through the intellectual quotient. After that, the active quotient mesmerizing with the coupling of emotion and intelligence. That is effortless level. That is a reflex mode. This is one component. That means if any time-bound mechanism, you have to not look upon while giving an emotion, you should not look upon the time-bound mechanism. After the gap analysis, the brain will itself look upon the time-bound mechanism. After the intellectual quotient, the active quotient are hierarchized. So, any problem you feel upon, you are doing it. You are not doing it. Because you are a bare body, the bare brain. The everything which comes through with the picturized memory or the video configurations or the accelerated effortless system that contribute to the nervous system. So each nervous system, you have to obey the nervous system in a proper way. Then only you have to identify, okay, today I wake up at 4 o'clock, you cannot, isn't it? Even though you are not, some people are, there are two people in there. One people is going every day, wake up in at 4 o'clock. He will wake up. That is the effort. Okay? For a consecutive 15 days, he wake up at 4 o'clock. and he will be going for the running, and he will be body fitted, and he will do the meditation and so on. But despite the second category people are there, in the lifetime he is not wake up the 4 o'clock. But tomorrow he is having a flight at 4 o'clock. He have to wake up. More than that, 4 o'clock, that is 2 o'clock itself, right? How come it is possible? He gave an emotion. Okay, tomorrow I have a flight. That is an emotion. And he have to get ready. And he have to travel for the flight. So he got an emotion that stuck in his mind, and he reacted, what is the intellectual gap there? If I am not. And what he propelled that. So that accelerated gravity, that pullover, that contribute the active quotient, that it can make up the 4 o'clock. Right? So this is one key pillar to understand in life, not only for the education sphere, not only for the structure and behavior of Homo sapiens or the human being. This is a wonderful concept. You are not doing it. The brain neurons are doing it. You have to train the neuron in terms of the emotional intelligence and intellectual quotient, and absolutely, if you make up the two balance theory of emotional quotient and intellectual system, then automatically the active participation will occur by the time it will be, that is a reflex mode. So this is one segment. After that, what do you mean by strain? Anything measured with the sustained load, right? What do you mean by creep? Any destroying activity which is happening for the society. So sudden apparent negation will be occur because you are not fit up enough. Doesn't mean that. If you are not playing today, tomorrow you may be a good player. That is a normal philosophical word. But you have to manifest towards it. First of all, I have to communicate with you, and or I want to say something about the manifestation. What do you mean by manifestation? You want to become a good officer, or you want to become a good richest man in India. Okay, this is your goal. Or if you want to have a tiny goal that you have to eat the biryani today. Okay, that is also a goal. But despite you don't have money, what shall you do? This is the question. At that time, you have to give a full of emotions. Okay, the biryani structure, the biryani food, where it will be, okay, what is the price, and how come it is, what is my financial background, and what is my physiological condition, and what after that, what I can pursue in it. Over the food, what is I will get sleepy more. That you have to understand with the proper emotions. You don't know, you are definitely going to have a biryani. In the way you don't know that. You are not prescribed that, yes, okay, 2:30 p.m. afternoon, I am going to have a biryani. It's not an objective, right? But despite you had. Why? That means you 100% you gave in that particular agenda. And what do you mean by you have to give the karma to 100%? The karma will replica, that is in a scientific mode of emotion plus intellectual quotient. That is what the karma is. So those people are always chit-chatting me and messaging me or calling me or always saying, today I have a brain, today I have a mindful thought, I have to read so many things. But tomorrow my energy will be demotivated, and someone or upcoming fellow buddy are way ahead about me, what I should do. So this is an answer. Don't look upon others' brain, don't look upon others' emotions. You know what? Each brain or each mind are the lesson of their own life structure, right? So this is not one kind does not fit for everybody. Your life may be changed, your life may be in Northeast, your life may be in the Western Ghats. So it may be a different approach, different environment and different criteria. Only the way is one thing that fit, that is an emotion. So give it 100% emotion. Give it the gap analysis after the emotion. Then don't look upon the work of karma, what you have to do. Then automatically the karma will replica in a reflex mode. That is your profitability in a situation. Not only in the economic terms, it is also in a spiritual terms also. So that is why people are doing a meditation to understand the inner engineering, right? So this is one beautiful concept to understand what exactly we have to do. Of course, I have done my psychology. That's why this is I little bit of enough know. So this is a great platform to deal to give a lecture on this particular agenda, because this is an essential parameter to understand yourself. Someone are demotivated in a common phenomena, look upon that your emotions are not matching. That's all. If you are demotivated today, you are not applying any emotion there. Suppose you quarrel with me, okay? I will talk to you, but you hate me. Why? You don't have any emotions to me, right? Your emotions are stunned off. And if the emotions are not there, when there is a gap analysis for intellectual property, no gap analysis. If the gap analysis are not there, there is no active participation, there is no active reflex. So each brain, each segment is different in nature, that how we treat it in a brain sphere level. So contribution to mechanism in terms of the psychological parameter, social well-being, or anything which is related to Homo sapiens, or the evolution of the anthropology, the Darwin's theorem, survival of the fittest, that is a emotional quotient, that is energized behavior. I have to survive, then only I will look upon it. You have to become a good leader, then you have to become a good leader of yourself. Then only it will be occur. And leadership lies not in your own inner engineering, it is your own mental balance, that is also called as mindful thought. So why people, older generation are telling us, keep on thinking in a positive way, manifest like in a positive way, that will be replicated. What do you mean by that? You are giving 100% emotions of what particular you want, then you are given 100% emotions. After that, you gave 100% intellectual gap analysis. That is an automatic process you are not going to do, because interest comes in a player, right? You are not going to do. Suppose you, what is your life story? What is your life agenda? If you want to see a good movie today, the emotions are 100%. Absolutely, whatever the gap analysis, you are automatically fulfilled it, whether it is a financial autonomy, whether it is a travel alliance, whether it is a sitting arrangement, whether it is whomsoever concerned I am going to participate with the movie. That is subjective in nature. You are not bothering about it. But despite it is a cool mechanism, it is hampered. After that, the active participation is automatic in the brain, that you saw the movie. Till today, whole movie is in your bare eyes. That is a visual capacity, right? So fundamental principle is emotion is the key pillar to stage 1 of the brain, and that is a mind, and also how you implicated the gap analysis in a futuristic sustainability,